Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good morning, students. This is Sunita Gladys Kanaka from Punvidya Ashram. Good to hear that everybody is keeping fine. Now, welcome to the English class. This is part 2 of The Diamond Necklace written by Gay de Maupassant. Did you watch part 1 of the story? Okay. Now, let me read and explain the lesson in detail. Are you ready, children? Then come. The Diamond Necklace. Matilda Loyce was one of those pretty charming young ladies, born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. She had no money, no hopes, no means of becoming known and getting married to a rich man. She allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She suffered, for she felt she was born for all the fine, beautiful things of life. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, the worn chair, and the faded hangings. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, whom she did not like to visit because it hurt so much when she returned to her own poor apartment. Here, Matilda Loyce was a pretty lady, but because of a mistake in her destiny means fate, she was born in a family of clerks. Because she had no money, she couldn't get married to a rich man. She finally got married to a petty clerk who works in the office of the Board of Education. She suffered because she wanted all the beautiful things of life. She felt bad about her poverty and the conditions of her house and furniture. Even she felt bad to visit her best friend because of her poverty. One evening, her husband returned looking excited. In his hand was a large envelope. "Here is something for you," he said. She quickly drew out a printed card. "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George request the honor of Monsieur and Madame Loyal's company. Monday evening, January 18, at the Minister's residence." Here, one evening, Matilda's husband gave her a large envelope in which there was a printed card from the Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George inviting her and her husband to their residence. Instead of being delighted as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation on the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that?" "But my dear, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out. This is a grand occasion." She looked at him with an irritated eye and said, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a formal party?" Here, Matilda was not happy, and her husband was surprised over her actions and complains that she did not have anything to wear for the formal party. He had not thought of that and stammered, "Why the dress you wear when we go to the theatre? It seems very pretty to you." He fell silent, upset at the sight of his wife weeping. "Let us see, Matilda. How much would a suitable dress cost? Something simple?" "I cannot tell exactly, but 400 francs ought to cover it," she said. "Very well, I will give you 400 francs. Here, finally, he gave her 400 francs to buy a new dress. The day of the ball approached, and Madame Loisel seemed sad and anxious. Her husband said to her, "What is the matter with you?" And she responded, "I am upset because I don't have a jewel to adorn myself with." Here, on the day of the ball, she was very sad and anxious. When her husband questioned her, she said that she does not have any jewel to wear. Then her husband cried out, "How stupid we are! Go and ask your friend, Madame Forrester, to lend you her jewels." The next day, she took herself to a friend's house and related her story of distress. Distress means suffering. Madame Forrester took out a large jewel case, opened it, and said, "Choose, my dear." Among the jewels, she saw a superb necklace set with diamonds. She asked in a hesitating voice, "Could you lend me this?" "Why, yes, certainly." Here, Matilda's husband told her to go and ask her friend, Madame Forrester, for her jewels. Madame Forrester gave her a diamond necklace. The day of the ball arrived. Madame Loise was a great success. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling, and full of gaiety. All the men noticed her and asked her name and wished to waltz with her. Waltz is a kind of dance and gaiety means joy. Here, Madame Loise was a great success at the ball, and all the men wanted to dance with her. Matilda enjoyed the party thoroughly. She danced with enthusiasm, thinking of nothing, floating on a cloud of happiness. She and her husband left the ball at around 4 o'clock. Out in the street, they found no carriage and began to look for one. There was one in the distance. It took them as far as their door in Marty Street. They went up to their apartment. Here, Matilda enjoyed the party thoroughly. They left the ball at 4 o'clock, took a carriage, and went to their apartment. She stood in front of the glass for a final view of herself in a glory and suddenly uttered a cry. Her necklace was not around her neck. She turned towards her husband. I no longer have Madame Forrester's necklace." And they looked in the folds of the dress, in the pockets, everywhere, but did not find it. Here, when they reached their home, she discovered that her necklace was missing. They searched in their clothes thoroughly, but they could not find it. They looked at each other, utterly cast down. Utterly cast down means discouraged. "It will be necessary," he said, "to write to your friend that you have broken the clasp." Clasp means interlocking part of the chain of the necklace, and that you will have it repaired. That will give us time. She wrote as he directed. At the end of a week, they had lost all hope. Loise declared, "We must take measures." Take measures means take some actions to replace this jewel. Here, Matilda's husband asked her to tell her friend that the necklace was broken and they will give it back after getting it repaired. But by the end of a week, they found no sign of the necklace. They went from jeweler to jeweler, seeking a necklace like the lost one. In a shop, they found a necklace of diamonds which seemed exactly like the one they had borrowed. It was valued at 40,000 francs. Loise possessed 18,000 francs, which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. When Madame Loise took the jewels back to Madame Forrester, the latter said in a cold tone, "You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them." Here they went searching in all the jewelry shops and finally found a similar diamond necklace which cost 40,000 francs. He had only 18,000 francs and borrowed the rest. When Matilda went to return the jewelry, her friend was angry with her for returning the necklace late. Madame Loise now knew the horrible life of bare necessity. They had to pay this frightful debt, and she would pay it. They sent away the maid. They changed their lodgings. Lodgings means house. She learned the heavy cares of a household, the hateful work of a kitchen. She washed the dishes and the soiled linen. Soiled linen means dirty clothes, bed sheets, tablecloths, etc. The husband worked evenings and nights. Now, they needed money to pay back the debts. So they stopped their maid, went to a smaller house. Poor Matilda had to do all the household work, and her husband had to work day and night. This life lasted 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had repaid all their debts. Madame Loise now seemed old. She had become a downtrodden means depressed, woman of a poor household. Finally, after 10 years, they paid up all the debts. By now, Madame Loise, that is Matilda, had become old and poor. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk, she suddenly saw Madame Forrester. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. Why not? And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. She approached her. "Good morning, Jean." Her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. "Oh, my poor Matilda, how have you changed?" "Yes, I have had some hard days, and all because of you." "Because of me? How is that?" "Well, I lost the diamond necklace that you loaned me. I returned another to you exactly like it, and it has taken us 10 years to pay for it." Madame Forrester took both her hands as she said, "Oh, my poor Matilda, the diamonds were false. They were not worth more than 500 francs. Here, one day, while Matilda was taking a walk, she met her friend, Madame Forrester. Her friend was surprised at the changes in Matilda. Then Matilda confessed to her friend how she had lost a diamond necklace and replaced it with a new one, and that it had taken 10 years to pay the debts. Madame Forrester felt very sad and said that the diamonds were not real. They were worth only 500 francs. Here ends the lesson, The Diamond Necklace, written by Guy de Maupassant, with a strong moral, that is, be content with what you have. Hope you have understood the lesson. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye from Sunita Gladys Kanaka.